Hey ladies, this is Eileen from Success from the Source. Today I'm going to speak about church hurt. I know it's out there, um, and I have some experience that I'd like to share with you. Um, but I also want to share with you how has affected me. Um, it's pretty important. I believe that I know there are some people in my family who have endured some of it. Um, and I knew a few other people. So, and it's heartbreaking. Um, so basically, I'll just tell you my story real quick, as fast as I can. I grew up in the church, like told you before, since I was about 12 till I graduated high school. I went to a great church. Was the foundation of my life and my faith in Jesus. It was very good. I still have friends from church from when I was a kid that I'm in contact with. And uh, yeah, I went to the Christian high school, graduated from it. Like, it was a very big deal for me. At the time, though, my parents were getting divorced. They were on and off, together, separating, not together. And by the time I was in my senior year of high school, um, it was over. They were getting a final divorce. Um, but after I graduated high school, I got notice that the church that I grew up in, great pastor and everything, he cheated on his wife. And she was a wonderful woman. I was shocked, literally shocked. Um, it was, I was devastated, honestly. But, I didn't really think too much of it at the time. I was, just got out of high school. I was trying to navigate my life and going through my mother and father's situation with their divorce and all that. So it was kind of painful and all of that. Um, but over the years, I've been to at least 3 more churches after that first one where the either the wife cheated on her husband and they got divorced and the church closed down, or the husband cheated 3 other times. And these are in churches that I was committed to. Like, we were, you know, committed. And honestly, when I look back, I know that my first pastor, his wife eventually passed away. She was sick. And he did get up, remarried, and he's, in ministry now and doing things. I don't know exactly. I know he's like maybe somewhere in Florida or something, but he's repented, and of course he's doing well, right? The other churches, I'm sure that I'm not in touch with them anymore. So uh, it was difficult, but I have to say, and this is real important, it did not affect my faith in Jesus. Number one, I wasn't relying or looking up to these people um, as perfect. Um, it did affect me in one way, where after so many times that has happened, I kind of stepped back a little bit when I was committing to going to another church. And even up to this day, even though I'm not suspecting that that would happen in some of the churches that I've been a part of, um, it was easy for me to walk away if there was an issue. I'm not gonna lie. It just feeling like I don't want to be 100% committed because of the past, but at the same time, it didn't hurt my faith. Like, I know God is real. I know He is amazing and honest, and God is faithful and just. And those sins that they have committed, God dealt with them, and they repented, and, you know, they dealt with that. And it didn't affect my faith. I know that sometimes other people will be like, this is disgusting. How could this is hypocrisy? There's hypocrites everywhere. But, I just want to encourage you, to really trust God. That's always the big thing, is just trust Him, because everyone can make mistakes. It's a whole reason why the church is open. Everyone who goes there needs help, right? It's a church full of sinners that are forgiven by God, who are trying to change their lives, who need healing, who need restoration. And you can't look at, the pastors or people who are in charge of the church, that they're going to be perfect just because they became a pastor. It's not reasonable. Hopefully they do have a better, you know, representation of the Lord, but that's not always the case. So what I just, really encourage you to do is, if you have had a bad situation, is to just, ask God to forgive them. You ask God to help you to forgive and move on if you have to go to another church, or and just know that God is not going to do that to you. God is never going to leave you. He's never going to forsake you. He's never going to do things that are unjust. And, there's people all over. All Christians are going to make mistakes. And I know it sounds, I'm not making any excuses, but just don't let that hurt your faith in God Himself. Don't depend on those people to be perfect, because that's just not going to happen. Now, if you've had abuse, you do need healing, yes, and I really am sorry if that did happen to you, if there was some sort of abuse or something like that. And I know it's happened. You hear about it every once in a while. There's somebody out there, some pastor out there that does it. I would just pray for you and ask that God would help to heal you, and you would be able to walk away and forgive those people. Doesn't mean you have to be their best friend anymore, or anything to that effect. But really, the most important thing we need to know is that God is the one who's always going to be faithful to us. And even though things happen to us that don't seem fair, that don't seem right, remember that this is a world filled with sinners and some evil people. There's a world full of people that are not under God. And even the ones who are under God, we all have free will. And God has never, didn't make this earth to be perfect and without pain. It's just not that way. And, it's not happened to me. Like, I have a friend of mine who lost her daughter a couple of years ago, and I can't relate. My heart goes out to her. I am so sorry it was an accidental death that her 17-year-old daughter lost her life. And of course she's still heartbroken, and my heart goes out to her. But I can't relate to that type of pain, at least, God forbid, but you never know, right? And so things happen a lot of times that we don't understand it, and the very first thing our inside wants to do is just get mad at God and blame Him for everything that bad that happens. Just remember that we're filled with people in this earth that do what they want, and sometimes things are going to happen. And I don't want to sound cold or anything. I mean, obviously I feel pain, and I have, I try to understand people, and for people who have dealt with stuff like that in the church. But I always put God first. Put God first. Pray and ask Him to help you to understand, or at least to get over it, to remove the pain, and trust Him and know that He loves you and He's never going to leave you, and He'll walk through the fire with you and all of the tribulations and problems and things that we go through as people. God will be there with us. Pretty much, I just wanted to share that with you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.